All right, let's talk about Amazon. Today, we are cracking open the playbook that turned a humble online bookstore into, well, the everything machine. We're going to uncover the surprisingly simple, but yeah, brutally effective strategy behind it all. Let's get right into it.
Seriously, take a second. Do you remember what it was like? Driving to the mall, hunting for a parking spot, walking all the way to a store, only to find out the one thing you needed was out of stock. All of that friction? That's the exact problem Amazon decided to solve.
So to really get Amazon's genius, we have to rewind and look at the world it was born into. It was a world ruled by what you could call the tyranny of the shelf, a whole system built for sellers, not for you, the customer.
Think about it. Before Amazon, physical stores meant you could only buy what they could fit on their shelves. That meant limited selection. Prices were naturally higher because they had to cover rent and staff costs. And most of all, it was just inconvenient. Your choices were basically whatever a store's buyer decided you were allowed to have.
But Jeff Bezos looked at all that and saw something different. He didn't see it as just how retail works. He saw it as a bug in the system. And his entire philosophy, the one that would change everything, was symbolized by one simple but really powerful idea.
You've probably heard this story, and for good reason. It's legendary. While every other company was obsessed with their competitors or their quarterly profits, Amazon obsessed over that empty chair. It literally became the North Star for every single decision they made.
And this is absolutely crucial to understand. For Amazon, customer obsession wasn't some fluffy marketing slogan they'd stick on a poster. No, it was an engineering problem. A problem that had to be solved with data, with logistics, and with just relentless invention.
So the big question is, how did they actually build a machine that could serve that empty chair? Well, it all boils down to a playbook with 3 core pillars. Let's break them down.
Pillar number 1 is what they call working backwards. See, most companies build a product and then figure out how to sell it to you. Amazon flipped that completely. They started with your need and worked backwards to invent a solution. This is how we got things like one-click ordering and customer reviews, stuff that seems obvious now but was revolutionary because it was all designed to remove friction for you.
And what did Amazon figure out that you, the customer, want more than anything else? It's pretty simple, really. Lower prices, a bigger selection, and faster delivery. That's it. Every single ounce of the company's energy was funneled into delivering on those 3 things relentlessly.
Okay, but focusing on those 3 things is one thing. How do you turn that focus into an unstoppable growth machine? Well, you don't just make a plan. You build an engine. And this, right here, is where you see the true genius of their model.
And here it is, the Amazon flywheel. This was famously sketched on a napkin by Bezos himself. It's a loop that just feeds itself. You start with lower prices. That creates a better customer experience, right? Well, a better experience drives more traffic to the site. All that traffic attracts more sellers who want to sell their stuff. That leads to a greater selection, which, guess what, makes the customer experience even better. And all that growth lets Amazon lower its costs, which means they can lower their prices even more. You see, each step just powers the next, creating this incredible, unstoppable momentum.
But to get a massive flywheel like that spinning in the first place, that takes a huge amount of energy. And that energy came from the 3rd pillar of the playbook, a strategy so weird and so counterintuitive that it completely baffled Wall Street for more than a decade.
Let's call it weaponized patience. See, while all of Amazon's competitors were laser-focused on hitting their numbers for the next quarter, Bezos was playing a totally different game. He flat out told investors, hey, we're not going to be profitable for years, because he was reinvesting every single dollar they made right back into that flywheel, building massive fulfillment centers and creating an infrastructure that no one could ever hope to match.
So let's recap. You've got customer obsession as your guide, the flywheel as your engine, and weaponized patience as your fuel. You put those 3 together and you've created a business that is systematically designed to win. Now let's look at how that actually played out.
The first masterstroke was just brilliant. They opened up Amazon.com to third-party sellers. So instead of trying to fight every other retailer on the planet, Amazon just invited them to come sell on their platform. This move gave them a near infinite selection, and they didn't have to own any of the inventory. Amazon got all the traffic, all the data, and a cut of every single sale, while the sellers took all the risk. Genius.
But here's the kicker. The most powerful result of that long-term patient strategy was something almost nobody saw coming. It started as an accidental byproduct of their main business, but it quickly became their secret weapon.
And that weapon was Amazon Web Services, or AWS. See, to run its own massive website, Amazon had to build a world-class cloud infrastructure. For years, this was just a huge cost on their balance sheet. But then they had this incredible aha moment. What if they rented out all that computing power to other companies? Well, AWS absolutely exploded. It started generating billions in pure profit. And what did they do with all that cash? They pumped it right back into the retail business, allowing them to keep prices brutally low and just crush the competition.
When you lay it all out, the contrast is just stark. The old retail model was all about maximizing profit on each sale. Amazon's goal? Maximize your loyalty for life. Old retail fought its rivals for shelf space. Amazon turned those rivals into paying customers. Old retail couldn't see past the next quarter. Amazon was thinking about the next decade. And maybe most importantly, where old retail saw their infrastructure as a cost to be cut, Amazon saw it as an asset and turned it into a massive profit engine. They were playing a completely different game.
So, when you put all these pieces together, you realize this isn't a story about luck. It's the story of a system, an engine that was designed from day one for a single purpose.
And here's the main takeaway. Amazon's dominance wasn't an accident. It was the logical, almost inevitable outcome of their entire strategy. Their competitors, who were locked into the short-term, profit-focused mindset, were structurally incapable of fighting back. It's like they were playing checkers, while Bezos was playing chess. He built an engine to win. And, well, it worked.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. This is more than just a story about Amazon. It's a masterclass in strategy. It should force all of us to ask, in our own jobs, in our own industries, what fundamental customer need is everyone else ignoring? What's the empty chair in your room?
Hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown and got something out of it, make sure you subscribe to Finologix. We're always digging into the playbooks of the world's most successful companies.